This is the Washington Times front page for Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Former President Trump arrived in New York, where heavy security precautions were set up ahead of his court arraignment and booking as the first ex-president to be charged with crimes. Tom Howe, Jeff Murdoch, and Stephen Dinan report Trump's attorneys filed a motion asking the court to ban photo and video coverage of the arraignment. Trump is expected to be charged with roughly 30 criminal counts. Trump said Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg has no case and that the prosecution is politically motivated to undermine his 2024 presidential bid. Legal experts have questioned the underpinning of Bragg's case, which is based on a claim that Trump's hush money paid to pornography actress Stormy Daniels during the 2016 presidential campaign violated federal campaign finance laws. Trump was indicted by a grand jury last week. He's scheduled to be arraigned on Tuesday. The Biden administration came under renewed fire for its decision to allow a Chinese spy balloon to travel across the continental United States in the face of reporting that the craft gathered sensitive intelligence from American military sites. Ben Wolfgang reports the balloon was able to pick up signals such as communications from several U.S. military installations as it flew across the country in late January and early February. Senior U.S. officials told NBC News that the balloon traveled over some of the locations multiple times while transmitting data to China in real time. Republicans said the revelations underscore unanswered questions about President Biden's handling of the incident, which worsened U.S.-Chinese relations. The Department of Agriculture is weighing milk cuts to the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for women, infants, and children in response to an increasing prevalence of lactose intolerance that disproportionately affects minorities. Harris Alec reports the plan would slash the monthly allotment of milk to pregnant women by 6 quarts and to young children by 4 quarts. In exchange, WIC recipients would have more access to soy-based dairy alternatives and other milk substitutes. States administering WIC would be required to ensure access to lactose-free options for milk. Data shows that nearly 90% of Americans are not consuming enough dairy to meet daily requirements. You can read all of these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. You can also find the entire lineup of Washington Times podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. Gun control measures are struggling to survive in lower courts in the wake of the Supreme Court's ruling last year that firearm restrictions must align with legal thinking during the drafting of the Second Amendment. One that did, Alex Swarry reports, is in Florida. A 3-judge panel of the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals last month upheld the state's ban on gun purchases by 18 to 20-year-olds. The panel reasoned that Reconstruction-era laws restricted 18 to 20-year-olds from buying pistols. The Supreme Court ruled last year that the government must show a gun control measure is consistent with America's founding or similar laws at the time. The ruling nullified laws in 6 states that placed conditions on concealed weapons permits. And finally, Andrew Salmon looks at the rising tensions in the Asian sphere over Taiwan. As all sides game plan for a war and regional allies calibrate their responses, U.S. troops are finding themselves increasingly alone in their support of the island democracy. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at WashTimes for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.